Oh, right, folks, we are back. We are still sailing downwind. I think we've got a pretty decent speed on the go. We're heading in slightly south of west direction, which is still very good for reasons I will explain. And of course, I am Shipwreck Sean, and this is part 2 of Drunken Sailor, an ocean voyage. In the last episode, we got to where we think is roughly around 0 degrees. However, I don't think that's correct, partly because a very helpful commenter, who's commented a lot on my videos, Coupling Rhino, pointed out a few of my errors with my noon readings. So Rhino, thank you very kindly for that. And also, if you look, the sea is still pretty green. And if we were crossing the 0 degree mark, then of course that water would be turning blue by this point. We are just turning slightly with the main gaff here, but I'm not too concerned about that at this moment in time. For a little bit of fun though, I'd like to just do a quick speed check, and then we will check the interactive map. So that's a pretty decent speed. Seem to be averaging out just above 8 knots, maybe more like 8 knots. So I will take that. Pretty chuffed. And let's leave her to do her thing, and we'll head over to the interactive map. So, at the end of the last episode, we speculated that we are around here, but I don't think that's correct. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one, and I'm going to kind of trust this one. Rhino did tell me that he thinks I should be around 1.5, which I believe that way more than I believe where I've put us. But since we have to learn from our own mistakes, I'm going to keep this one here. I did delete one, so let's keep this one. And then I'm 50% learning and 50% hoping for the best. But I'll just keep us westward. The marker, hold on, if I completely aim us westward, let's see where the marker wants to take us. Let's get us dead on west, just so I can check the wind marker. That'll do. So the wind is behind us, but we're not completely sailing downwind anymore. Oh, and also I listened to Coupling Rhino, and I've opened up both the jibs completely by releasing the sheets on both sides. However, I think the angle of the wind direction now is not allowing me to go wing on wing, which is what he called it, which is a term, I never actually knew the name of the term, but it's basically when the jibs go to either side. So let's say, for example, this outer jib was on this side, and then the inner jib was still on the starboard side. So, with all of those little tiny wee updates being made, I guess it's time to continue with our drunken plan. So, I should probably do some fishing first, and then drink. In fact, you know what? We're going to drink copious amounts of alcohol first, let that energy drain whilst I fish. I think that's the best thing to do. So we're running out of rice beer, at least in that crate. Let's pop the empty. A few swigs of that one, and we'll finish that off after a bit of fishing. You can join me for this first fish, but I think for the rest of the video I will be editing out my fishing, just because it does take a while. And I said I wanted to see land at the end of the first episode, and that certainly didn't happen. So I'd very much like for that to happen in this episode, which means I will need to cut out certain things here and there. And there we go, we have hooked a fish. Just following a very slow tempo here. What do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. I of course have with me my trusty bottle of limoncello again, with the intentions not to drink too much of it. We will just be having little sips. I think that's the smart sailor way to do it. Right, so we'll have our raw tuna. And we'll finish off our evening meal with some dried bun slices. And as you can see, we're getting pretty tired. So I'll spend the rest of my remaining energy trying to straighten up the boat, make sure she won't drift too much during a massive sleep. And then I will go to sleep. So she is heading, she's turned quite far south, so I'm actually going to drop the mainsail quite a touch, because I think that's our culprit. Turn us back westward, and we'll just see how she holds that. I am going to turn on our navigation lights, just for now. We'll turn those off before I go to sleep, because I am a stickler for holding on to candles. Maybe a slight turn northwards now, but it is hard to tell if that's a result of my setup or if it's the sea state, because it is getting pretty choppy out there this evening. The time is currently, well, it's only 6 PM. If our energy doesn't drain too quickly, we might have time to make a little reading, but I don't think that'll happen. Okay, it's still drifting a bit north. Turn us back round westward. And we'll see how she holds there. Maybe I can release the top sheet on the starboard side and pull it in just a touch on the port side. Maybe that'll do something. And now she's turning slightly south, so I'm quite happy with her to turn slowly to south. But it looks like we've not really got the choice to straighten up the vessel. We are running out of sleep, and I'm afraid my skills aren't high enough. I am going to pull the sheets in of the jibs, maybe just a touch. I'll just do one of them, and I'll be with you folks when I wake up. Alright folks, we have woken up. The sea has calmed down a bit. I'm stuck, and we're still headed slightly south of west, which is good. It looks like, oh, I was just about to say we can get away with the, was it wing to wing, wing on wing? But I guess not. Maybe we can. So we have winged jibs at the front, at the bow, which I'm pretty chuffed with. I hate doing it on camera folks, but that could be a nice little thumbnail for the video. But of course, what I'm really trying to do is get a thumbnail that includes gold rock. That is the main mission. Anyway, we are hungry, thirsty, and it is nowhere near noon. So I think it's maybe best, I think I'll maybe have some water for now. I know that's cheating. But the plan is to just wait until noon, and then I can continue with my debauchery. Put the rice beer there. I'm just doing some general housekeeping I've got a couple of swigs of this rice beer, we might as well finish it off. I am Scottish and it is my culture. That one's full. And this one's an empty. Oh, and it looks like we've got a couple more here that we failed to throw overboard in the last episode. I blame the Limoncello. And there we go. So she's holding pretty well, and looking around, folks, that looks like blue seas to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it's not green. So yep, I see seas of blue. So now that we are on the blue, we definitely want to keep heading slightly south of west. Because again, thanks to Coupling Rhino, who by the way is a massive reason as to how I've even got this far in the game. I'm so glad to upload to YouTube because it's receiving comments and advice that have actually given me the confidence to go ahead and try some more things. But Coupling Rhino mentioned that it was better to arrive southward of Gold Rock on account of what the wind state will be like when we get into the archipelago. And they suggested that if I go south enough, it might even be worth going to the Alchemist Island, because I have some green tobacco to sell, which apparently will fetch us a much better price at Alchemist Island. So we'll see if we can do a stop off there. We're quite hungry, it's only 9 o'clock, so I'll do some fishing and I'll be right back with you for our noon reading. Alright folks, so I managed to catch a couple of fish, and I've eaten a couple of slices of dried bun as well. And the time is just past 11 there, so we'll wait until past, and then we will diligently watch the sun. Going to get our compass at the ready. In fact, no, I think I'd rather be doing this. I want to make Coupling Rhino proud. Although I think I'm still a wee bit out of practice. But we will try and do our very best. We know that surely we're at least 0 because the water has turned blue. So that much we can be confident with. We know that the sun is going to hit the centre, or hit the centre at south at 12 or after. Because that would bring us into the negative latitude. I might be wrong there folks, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm not confident often. Right, that's 10-2. I know it's bad YouTube practice, but I'm just going to go silent. Right, that looks to me like it's just past centre. And that was 12, maybe 1 minute past 12, something like that. I hope that was a bit better, coupling. And it looks like we're still at about 31, which is good. So that's a very rough one again. And it looks like the wind's changed slightly. And our direction has turned westward a bit. So we'll go and do some pilotage and then I'll deal with that. So I'm predicting there's 0 degrees there. So just after 0 and maybe just above 31. So I'm going to say we're about there. But I think whilst we've got the wind behind us, we should try and get it west-southwest as much as possible. It might even make the sail in this wind a bit easier as well. So let's turn us somewhere between west-southwest and west. But if it fluctuates around there, I'm quite happy. I think maybe the can't actually get to the outer jib sheet. There we go. I think that can come in a bit. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And if that turns our bow, then we will open up the main gaff a wee bit more. But so far that's looking alright to me. Yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that. I'm more confident with that reading than any other one I've done during this and the last episode so far. So I guess for now I'm going to pick up the broom, do some general housekeeping, and then I'll be right back with you for limoncello time. See you shortly. What do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Wonderful singing. Alright folks. So you'll see that the main gaff, I have hoiked that round to the other side. And that's helped us with our stability just a wee bit. We are a bit close to west-southwest, but as I say, I'm pretty happy with that. I'd rather have to... Wait, I'll skip over to pilotage. Let's say, for example, I end up here. I would much rather be sailing, you know, at a beam reach towards Gold Rock and or Alchemist Island than, say, ending up here. Oh, that was not what we wanted to do. Ending up roughly around that area. And that would likely involve tacking ourselves along the Gold Rock. And I know it's a sailing game, I know tacking is fun, but we want to get there as quickly as possible, don't we? We're not here for a leisurely sail. No, we're here on business. So for that reason, I'm quite happy with west-southwest. For argument's sake, here was our last known point. If I kept going at west-southwest, I would end up below 30 degrees. So we'll try not to go below. We'll basically say 30 degrees as our new negative limit. Or I say negative, our new lowest limit is what I meant by that. But like every Sailwind experience, we'll just see what happens. She is turning herself slightly northwards, I'm guessing because the gaff is now on the opposite side. So I'll just keep battling that for now. How's our energy? It looks like we can sink a bottle of rice beer, but before I do that, I've got my limoncello here. Oh, a lovely little sip. And now we're going to completely down this bottle of rice beer. And that should make our character a wee bit tipsy, but not steaming. I'm wondering, what did I do with the big bottle? There we go. I'd like to keep that big bottle handy, because we will be cracking into our barrels of wine soon. And it's better to have a bigger bottle of wine than a smaller bottle, right? But our energy level is getting pretty close to halfway. I'd probably like to kill that a wee bit more, and then we'll get a nice big sleep again, which seems to benefit us. And then hopefully we'll wake up close-ish to noon. It's currently only 5 PM. And she is still wanting to turn northwards. Whoops. So it could be that perhaps I need to bring the sheet in. Where's coupling Rhino when you need them, eh? So I guess I've oversteered a bit, but we'll see if she adjusts over time. And if she does, it's maybe worth oversteering a touch when I sleep, although she doesn't seem to be moving at all now. So I'm going to just completely go against what I just said I would do. and keep it roughly around there. Just a degree or two west of west-southwest. I think that's the best practice. Right, we still have our energy elixir here in case things get drastic towards the end. But that's not going to happen, right? We were only able to catch 2 or 3 fish with that last hook, so I've lost my bragging rights as the single best Sailwind fishing YouTuber. There goes my badge of honour. Got a knife, got some bottles of water here, can I tidy up those lads? Get them off the deck. There we go. Nice, cool. So I think I'm ready to take a little sleep now. Maybe a couple of slices of bread just as a little nightcap. Oh, really struggling to eat that slice. And I'll be with you folks when I wake up. See you then. Alright folks, I have woken up during the night, but I've decided to use that as a good excuse to do our midnight reading. So I'm just currently grabbing my trusty notepad. There we go, I've got that out. So we know we're going to be looking for Wittina. But first of all, I'm going to find the North Star and just get a bit of practice making sure I know where I am. Oh, I hope that's not right. So you follow the M, and it's the next one down. That looks a bit more right. What did I do? Did I look at the wrong one? I don't know how we're getting 25 degree there. I'll look back at the footage, but that tells me that we're still at about 31, maybe even just a smidgen below it. So we're still along the 31 line, and then we will try and get our latitude with Wittina, which is following this bow, and it's the one at the very end. So this one here, just off to our stern. Oh, and we also have a clean boat. So the time is just hit 11. So you can join me in waiting, folks. No quick edit now. We're still heading slightly south of west, but we have turned slightly north from where we were going. So I'm going to just steer us back down just a touch. Quickly double check the wind, which is still very much behind us. And that'll do for now. So it's coming up for half past. I'm not going to do anything about my thirst or my hunger at this moment in time. When I do my danger nap, I will wake up, do a bit of fishing, and then I will bring the edit in after I have done that, and hopefully we'll be close enough to lunchtime, noon o'clock. Right, coming up for 1:45, so I will position myself. So again, following the boat, and it's here. So I'm just watching the clock now and waiting for maybe a minute before midnight. Knowing me, I'll give it a couple minutes before, because it will take me a while to get the quadrant perfectly aligned. But I'm not necessarily going to completely believe this, because I always seem to struggle with my celestial navigation readings, of which it's time for. That's maybe just above 31. Let's do that again, just for, see if we can quickly do that. That's about 32 and a half. And that's up at 34. So it would appear that it does move up quite a bit within seconds, but it was just above 31. So Excuse me for the silence, but I'm just going to check the notepad. Yeah, well, I'm going to just choose not to believe that, because that's bringing me... In fact, no. Perhaps I can believe that, because it's actually saying 31 equates to -2 latitude. So that might make a little bit of sense. Maybe it's just below 32 would be my dead reckoning. So somewhere between -1 and -2. That's what I'm going to go for. So somewhere below -1 and -2. Or between, rather. And I'll just take one more North Star reading, which is 31. So that's between -1 and -2. I think we're probably closer to -1, but I'm going to stick to my guns here and say we're about here. So we've not, according to my navigational skills, we haven't headed southwards, but we almost certainly have. So with that in mind, I'm going to place us back a bit from -2 and then down a wee bit, and I'm going to just hope that we're about here. Everything won't become apparent until we can see Gold Rock, I guess, and then we'll know for sure if it's north of west or south of west. But we're getting pretty close to the close hauling, folks, so this might be the most danger nap of all danger naps, because we might actually wake up in a closed hull setting. But I'm just going to leave the sails as is, go to sleep, and I'll deal with that when it comes to it. So good night, folks. Alright folks, that looks like we've mostly slept. We've left a little smidge there, but that's pretty grand. We're still heading roughly in the direction we want to be heading in. The wind doesn't seem to have changed all that much, but I think we can bring that gaff sheet in quite a touch. Yeah, somewhere like that. It is 6 in the morning, so still quite a wee while before our noon reading. I'm wondering if I drink alcohol now, will that make me too tired for the noon reading? I guess we'll find out. So, first of all, limoncello. Lovely stuff. It's a bottle of Villa Cardea. Very nice indeed. 4, 5. I don't drink all that much, especially this year. But when I do, I drink Villa Cardea limoncello. I don't know if that's a good bottle or not, but I can tell you right now that it's very tasty. If you would like my formal review, tastes like lemon, innit? There you go. Like and subscribe for more in-depth alcohol bottle reviews. Speaking of reviews, we still have 2 lovely 60 unit barrels of wine up in our bow. And it looks like, okay, we've got 5 bottles there, and we've got a top row of rice beer there, so we will be cracking into that fairly soon, of which I'm quite excited about. So I will crack open 1 bottle, fill up the thirst, and then we'll have some more of that after some fishing. So I'll be back with you close-ish to noon. Alright folks, it is 11:15, still got a wee bit of time before noon. But I just wanted to go over a couple of things. First things first, I've checked it, when both jibs are on either side, it's flying wing to wing. I had to double check the comment from Coupling Rhino there. So yet again, Coupling, thank you very kindly. The other thing I wanted to go over is that I noticed I've got a notification from the Sailwind Discord mentioning this beta update that sorts like boat wiggle, things like that. Now, to join the beta, I was wondering if someone can help me. Is it just a matter of going into your properties on Steam and then going down to beta and then selecting beta testing? Is that all we need to do? Because I would very much like to try it out. I guess the other thing would be, does it affect your saves? Because I've got a lot of time invested in this current save, and as it's part of my YouTube Let's Play, it would be a shame to lose it. Now we're almost coming to the end of, I guess you could say, a main chapter, which is the dhow, because this could be the final voyage for the dhow, unless we do Alchemist Island before Gold Rock. So I guess it wouldn't hurt too much to lose the save, but you know, I've worked really hard to get to my finances and all the rest of it. So yes, my questions are, is it as simple as going through Steam to sign up for the beta, and also will it affect my saves? Hopefully someone picks up on my questioning there and lets me know. I did have something else I wanted to quickly mention, but I've forgotten it. So now we just wait patiently for 12, and it is currently 1:45. So let's just keep an eye, try and get as aft as I can, since the sail is kind of in the way. Right, looking south, so I'm just nestling up close to the sun and trying to get this perfectly. And once again folks, if I go quiet, please excuse me, for I'm using all the brain cells I have. So I'll shut up now. Right, that's now. I would say that was about 5 or 6 minutes past. So 4 minutes would make us -1. So 6 minutes would make us 1.5, which is where we predicted we are. So I'm just going to have a little bit of fun and say we're a bit further than that. Oh, and in actual fact, well, we're not below 30 yet, but I think we're probably not quite 31 anymore. So between 30 and 31. So obviously the wind hasn't changed on us yet. So I'm just going to say that we're a bit further along here, but maybe just a tad up from halfway between 30 and 31. That's my guess anyway. Which means the wind should be about to change pretty quickly, or fairly soon. Just turn us back so that we're south below west. How do I keep doing that? Oh, that's what I wanted to say. What does everyone think of Sail the Seas then? I'm sure a lot of you have probably played it already, but that was really my first proper go at that game. And can I just say, I absolutely loved it. It's obviously a very different game from Sailwind. I guess they're similar in that there's boats involved in both games, but yeah, apart from that, the sailing feels very different. The navigation is, of course, well, that's completely different. I mean, Sailwind doesn't have in-game navigation, i.e. using a map just yet. You've pretty much got to rely on this and then your ocean map, and then just to keep a mental note whenever you do your noon readings and celestial navigation. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy both challenges. And the reason I ask is because I think my intentions for the near future will be to balance out Sailwind videos with Sail the Seas, and maybe a little bit of following seas as well. With Sailwind being the main one though, because I would like to play around with the sandbuck, but maybe I'll have a bit of fun playing Sail the Seas before I really get into ocean crossing with the sandbuck. As I say, it's a completely different game, Sail the Seas. You do get to play around with there's not a fast travel, what would you call it? Maybe like a sort of time warp, which feels like cheating, but honestly, like from what I've played in Sail the Seas, if you don't time warp, you're literally like, to sail from London to Praia, which is an island just off the kind of middle west coast of Africa. I had very low winds and I had to close haul the whole way, and it took me literally like 3 hours of playing, 15 in-game days to get there, and that was by completely utilising the time warp. So I dread to think how long that would have taken. I think maybe the point of the game is to actually sleep away in the tavern until you wait for better winds. I managed to return to London within about 4 or 5 in-game days. So that just shows you the difference sailing back downwind. But the issue with that is that obviously the wind speed was still not very large, so I might have even got there more quickly. Right, hunger wise, doing alright, but I think I'll finish this little bottle of rice beer and I will crack open another, if I've got any left in this crate. 4 left and 3 more hooks. 1 swig. Oh, and I've opened up a space in my inventory for open containers. I'm not seeing any sight of land just yet, but of course if we're only about 1.5 latitude, then I don't think we'll be seeing land for quite a wee bit. So I guess you can join me for this fishing endeavour, because after that the plan is to go for yet another nap, and we'll see when we wake up. We might try a little bit more celestial navigation, and if that fails, I will just bring you all back with me at noon again for hopefully a slightly more accurate reading. I think they're getting slightly better and better, but who knows. Another thing I like about Sail the Seas is that you often have to empty your bilges of water. Obviously there's not really a bilge on the dhow, is there? I mean, I guess there could be. But she's very much got a flat bottom deck. I don't think the actual, I can't see, I don't think the bottom of the vessel is particularly flat. There seems to be a curve to it, but hey ho, maybe there is a bilge and we just can't access it. Sometimes when I fish, the fish appear immediately. Sometimes it takes a hot minute. And we're obviously in the hot minute stage, folks. If I can't get a fish by 3:30, then I will just make that quick edit. Because you don't want to sit here and watch me just waiting to fish, do you? Maybe if I wiggle a bit. How are we doing from a direction point of view? She's still wanting to turn west-ish, but that's alright. Right, that's 3:30 and no fish. So folks, I will be right back with you either at night or close to noon tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Alright folks, I've woken up after a night of debauchery. Here is the dregs of last night's little party. I woke up in the morning, I've done a little bit of fishing, eaten that. Probably still like to catch a couple more at some point. But I have noticed that the wind has changed pretty drastically on us. It's getting a bit closer to what we would call a beam reach. So I'm going to adjust the sails for that. So I've taken in the main sheet. I'm going to just get rid of the top sail, because if we end up going upwind, that's going to be a huge problem for us. And we're going to bring in both the jibs quite a bit using the sheets. I'll do a wee bit more than that, but I just wanted to bring in the inner jib properly first, and then the outer jib tip out there. And then we'll check and see how she's doing. She has turned slightly northwards, but I did do a North Star reading during my little party, and discovered that we're pretty close to 30, if not bang on 30, so we don't want to go below that, so slightly north isn't too much of a problem. There is still no sight of land, and it's 11:15, so I'm glad I just checked then, because that is not what I meant to do. We will do another noon reading. Still got a wee bit to go, maybe about 30 in-game minutes. But if the wind has become a beam reach, that means it must slowly be turning round to that close haul that we're expecting fairly soon. So I'm taking that as a good sign, even though it means we'll have to do some proper sailing soon. And I am going to completely lift up our gaff as well, just to see how she gets on with that. Right, 2:15, headed roughly around west. Maybe the gaff is turning us round now, but we'll deal with that after our noon reading. So as usual, I will shut up when it gets pretty close to 12, just so I can use all 2 of my brain cells to try and get this dead on. Just watching this little pin here, making sure it's pretty much in the centre, but of course we are on a moving boat. Right, I'm shutting up now. I think we've got one more movement of the sun to go now. So has it really hit the centre? Yeah, I think it passed the centre at about 8 or 9 minutes there. So 8 minutes would put us at -2. 9 minutes would be what? -2.25. So I think these ones were wrong, but if we're beyond 2, then surely that would mean we're at the close halt. But I'm going to just say we're slightly above, and I keep forgetting. Quick check here, we are still around the 31 mark, so my little turn to north over the night has helped. So I'm going to say we're maybe about here. Now, I've definitely gone further than this, or at least it feels like it. So my navigation skills, still pretty awful, but at least we know roughly where we are, right? That's the important part. The wind is changing. It's actually now, we're no longer downwind sailing. It's at a beam reach and probably ever so slightly upwind. So we're getting close to that close haul, folks. So from here on out, I think the plan is just to keep us pretty westward. Maybe, hold on. If we are indeed here, and I drew a line straight across. So I think westward from here is actually a good shout. We don't want to be going south of that, but we don't want to go north of it either. So we are hoping to keep this vessel heading exactly west. And I might as well be Sailwind drunk whilst I'm doing all this. Try and put that down. Sink those swigs. Do some housekeeping whilst I'm at it. And the last one. There we go. Right, okay, so we definitely want to pull that sheet in to about there. Heading pretty westward, and I think our jibs can come in just a wee bit. Yeah, I'll go with that for now, see how she gets on. And now we're just booking it westward, folks. I would like to drink a little bit more, just so that my energy goes down quicker, but I'm still scared that I might not have enough liquid on board. I know there's plenty of water and stuff, but I am frugal after all. It comes part and part of being Scottish. Seas are getting pretty bouncy out there, but I think we're on average heading west. But yeah, you can see the wind is getting closer and closer to a close reach now. So that's good progress. So we know we are certainly over that 2-degree mark. So I think that last reading was fairly accurate. I'm quite happy with how that's gone. So yeah, very good, folks. I'm now going to do some more fishing so that I'm full up. Hopefully after that I'll be thirsty. I'll drink some more. And in fact, I'll have a swig of limoncello whilst I'm in the microphone. Lovely jubbly. And then I'll drink some more rice beer, wait for the energy to go down, have a big nap. And then I'll be back with you, either for some celestial navigation or the noon reading. So I will see you then, folks. Alright, folks, it is the next day. Currently 7 o'clock in the morning, so still a wee while before noon. We're still pretty heavily close hauling, but we are holding pretty much direct west, maybe just a tad north of west, so I'll turn us round ever so slightly, but I don't want to go too close to the wind. I noticed that for the first time in this sail, we are in need of vitamins, or vitamins, depending on what side of the Atlantic you're from. So I'm going to have some of those right now. And then I'll let the hunger continue to drop, because I'd like to do some fishing before noon. I've had a bottle of beer. To give you a quick update, we only have 3 bottles of beer left, and then after that it'll be time to grab this big boy here and start drinking from our big barrels of wine. So not long until the real fun starts. I don't have much limoncello left, as I only had half a bottle before the last episode, and obviously I've had a few this episode as well. So I think our Sailwind character will continue drinking for longer than I will be. As you can see, there is still no sight of land, so it'd be good to take a noon reading, and hopefully we can be accurate with our latitude, just so we can work out how much longer we have got to go. But I can feel it in my bones, folks. Land will be whole very soon. So I'm going to do some fishing, and then I'll be back with you at noon. Alright, folks, it is currently 11 o'clock, 5 past. I'm just making a quick speed check with the chip log. Looks like we're hovering just about 4.5, I'd say, knots, which is not the most amazing bit of speed, but we're moving forward considering we're close hauling. We're pretty deeply close hauling still. I have reduced the outer jib a wee touch just because we were turning ever so slightly north. And in an effort to keep some speed, I'm not really prepared to release the gaff sheet just yet. But as you can see, there's still a slight turn northward happening. So I will direct us back west. I've just oversteered ever so slightly. And I'm going to go around and reduce this outer jib just a touch more and see if that makes a difference. Okay, so now I can bring us back westward. And it is now just turning 11:45, so we now prepare for the fun. And I'm not going to forget to do my longitude reading this time. Famous last words potentially, but I've said it, which means it must be true. So south is going to be about here, and it is 6 minutes to 12 at this point in time. So at 12 o'clock is when we really want to start paying attention. And that's 12 now. So we're waiting for the sun to centre on this little top part of the compass here. Shutting up now. Okay, now, and that was about 11 or 12 minutes past. So that would bring us at 3 degree longitude, if it is 12, or just before 3, if it is 11, -3 I should say. So that's alright. Oh, and what did I forget to do after saying I wouldn't? Yep, I'd say still about 30.5. So 30.5 and circa 3 degree longitude. Let's go and see. So circa 3, I'm going to pull us just slightly before. Now for 30.5, we are about here. So if that is to be believed, then we can get away with maybe a slight northward pull, but really not by much. So I'm quite happy with how everything is going right now. And I've just noticed we need another slice of orange. I think when you get to the point where it starts to show you the orange icon, then you need to have a slice every day. But we'll reset all of our needs and wants when we get to town. Or more specifically, get to a town with a harbour. We have 3 bottles of beer left, including this one that has 3 units left. So we're almost at the very end of our beer. But we've still got 120 units of wine to go and a decent chunk of water. We've got 20 here, add 25 is 45. Add another 25 is 80. Add a whole bunch. 90, 100, 110, 105. Then I think this is empty, right? Yeah, our big boy. But we'll put our big boy back because we don't want to lose that. So I think that should be more than enough units of liquid to get us there. I'm starting to panic a little bit. Is that panic justified, do you think? Nah, surely not. Oh, add another 5 there to the total. I forget the total already. Was it 105? 110? Who knows? Above 100. So roughly around 230-ish liquid after we finish the beers. So yeah, it's certainly been a drunken voyage. I'm down to 1 glass of limoncello left. I am just taking sips. I hope you don't hear it in my voice, because I certainly don't feel as tipsy as my Sailwind character. Although at this point in time, my character is not very tipsy. Because as I say, I'm worried about the amount of liquid we've got on board now, so I don't want to just drink to get drunk. So I think at this stage, it's just a matter of waiting through the day until the energy level is pretty depleted. We'll wait for the first signs of night, and then we'll use that to sleep, hopefully through the night, and then maybe by the next morning we'll start to see land. It's going to be right. If we think that we're here, then land is going to be below west northwest. So that is what we want to look out for. I can't get rid of this now. I think I broke the... I just need to select a different tool maybe. There we go. That's the first little bug I've experienced with this map that hasn't been a result of skill error. So, nothing, no complaints to make about that map, because it's a great little tool. So yeah, I think, as I say, it's just a matter of waiting for evening, going to sleep, and then I'll be back with you after the glorious mighty danger nap. See you shortly. Alright folks, welcome back. Just a few boring updates, I guess. We'll keep it very boring. So boringly, I broke another hook. I was fishing, only got one fish, so I'm terrible at it. Boringly, we finished a crate of hooks, so I'm going to boringly replace that. Now as you can see, boringly, there's a hook there. The boring time is coming up for 6:45 in the morning. How boring. So I guess I'll have some... I'll do another bit of fishing, boring, and drink some more boring alcohol and go for a big boring sleep. But do you know what's not boring, folks? Haha, I was going somewhere with that. Do you know what's not boring? Do you see that? Hold on. Do you see that? Do my eyes deceive me? Am I going crazy? Bonnie, what's that? What's that over there? I think that's Bonnie's way of saying that is gold rock. Folks, we can see land. Hold on, one swig of limoncello to celebrate. That's what we do with the Drunken Sailor. That's what we do with the Drunken Sailor. That's what we do with the Drunken Sailor. Early in the morning, folks. So, yep, we have sighted land. That's not boring at all. So I guess we just point the pointy end of the boat directly to land, adjust our sails accordingly, and now I guess we don't need to worry too much about noon readings, but we're going to take one more at noon, of course, just for a bit of fun, really. But yeah, folks, I'm starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. It is... see, it would be great to just completely drink wine through this. So I'm going to hold off on drinking anything for now. But I'll do some fishing, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright folks, it is 11:30. I've eaten a couple of raw fish. We're still very thirsty. I did have one glug of water. And our energy levels haven't dropped that much. So I'll do the noon reading, get plastered on wine, sleep, and then hopefully that'll bring us to very close to Gold Rock. As I say, I'm just aiming slightly south of Gold Rock, to be honest with you. Just in case when we sleep we end up north. And if I have to close haul, I'll do it. But I don't wanna. Anyway, we can adjust all that later. It's very close to noon. So I'll just find the south point, which is there. So now we're just waiting patiently. We can also use Gold Rock for a bit of pilotage whilst we're doing this. Sorry for the silence, folks. Needs must. Almost. Okay, and it's just passed before there. I would say that was about 14. So what was it? If 12 is 3, 14 will be about 3.5. I feel like we're closer than that, but I'm going to go with it. Longitude. Well, that doesn't really matter too much because we can use Gold Rock for pilotage, but longitude seems to be somewhere between 31 and 32, I would say, or maybe just above 31. So, oh, and in fact, for a bit of fun, also did I say 3.5? Maybe more 2.5 actually, because we're going negatively, aren't we? I'm just too excited to speak sense. Right, Gold Rock is pretty much direct west of us. So, oh, that is not the correct thing. This is behind the scenes, folks. So if Gold Rock is direct west of us, then if I just draw a line from Gold Rock, we know we're on this line somewhere. And I'm going to say we're at... Sorry, I was correct by saying negative 3.5, not negative 2.5. My excitement is leading to nonsense. But there we go. So again, you know what, I'm not even going to bother saying the same thing I always say. These are more like guidelines. Again, I hope that you can pick up the reference there. So we're pretty much direct west, maybe a little bit southwest or west southwest if we want to. And as I say that, she has turned north. So I think I need to go and either take in one of my jibs a bit more or completely. How are they looking? Well, the outer jib is almost completely in. So I'm just going to like bring it there. I don't even know if it's doing anything there. And then she's holding between west and southwest. So we'll hold it at that. But for now, it's time for an orange slice. And then we'll grab the big boy water bottle. Or I should say wine bottle. Oh no, we've still got beer left. Let's finish that. 5. What do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Oh, that's empty. We can get rid of that. Cheerio. And cheerio. Hey, hey. Now our vision's a bit hazy. The rice beer is having its effect. And we'll have a couple of... It's been a while. I've been preserving the bun slices because I was scared. I hadn't seen land for ages and I was scared that perhaps that on top of my terrible navigation that we were a lot further away than we are. But in actual fact, I think I can safely eat my dried bun slices and be alright. She's drifting slightly north again. So I'll turn us back westward and check what the sail direction is. Okay, it looks like we can open up the main gaff a little touch. But that's not really going to help with the fact that we're turning northward. So I'm just going to completely get rid of... Oh, that's not getting rid of. Just going to bring in the outer jib. There we go, rolled up, and see if that makes a bit of difference. Heading south of west. Cool, I'm happy with that. If she is moving, it looks to be ever so slightly southward now. So I'm going to point our bonnet west and then wait for a wee bit until the effects of our rice beer wear off. One bottle left, which I will place here for the future. I can probably do something with all these bottles actually. This is the kind of thing I probably shouldn't do on camera because I'm trying to make this a quick edited episode so that it's just all the fun parts, but you can join me for a bit of housekeeping. Well, this bottle's been slightly drank out of, so we'll leave that there. This bottle has not. Pop that in there. And I'm very excited to have a small crate now that's empty, because I think I'd rather have a bunch of small crates than big crates. That being said, once we've got the sandbuck, that's not going to matter. Right, she's holding just south of west pretty well. I would quite like to just sleep now, to be honest with you, but I might as well get a big old sleep out of it, so I'll have a swig of limoncello. Lovely jubbly. I think I've got about 2 swigs left of that. And yeah, Gold Rock City, or at least Gold Rock Island, seems to be getting bigger. But if we are indeed at negative 3.5, I don't think we'll be seeing any of the other islands for quite a while. And that's of course if we do. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. So holding west, maybe an ever so slight turn to north. So again, just turn her slightly south of west. And if she turns herself slowly, then sure, whatever. Watch this, knowing my luck, she'll start turning south. Let's just turn her around to about there. See if she kind of holds. And yep, I'm going to go for, hopefully, a big long danger nap that takes us very close to Gold Rock. So, I'll see you then, folks. Right, we've got a man overboard situation here. Okay, we're back on. Let's crack on the lights. Got our navigation lights on. We're headed pretty close to a close haul. Still heading slightly south of west. Gold Rock is looking bigger. It is now between west and west northwest. So I'm going to draw a very rough line between west and west northwest. And then I'm going to find the North Star. Get our longitude, and that will tell us roughly where we are. I'm trying my best here to keep it still over the correct star there. I would say that's 31. Maybe just above 31 by a smidgen. So above 31 by a smidge, surely we can't be that close. Well, that's the rules we're going with, so if that's to be believed, then we are pretty close. Albacore Town should be surely close enough that we can see it, but it is quite dark. I'm not seeing anything off to that side, so we're maybe not as far along as we have predicted there, but Gold Rock is starting to take shape in the dark. We could use another orange. Let's just... oh, that is not the correct button for chopping. Why can't I chop this? There we go. I was going to say I've played this game for many hours now, and chopping that orange was one of the most difficult things I've done. I'm actually just going to have quite a few because who cares, right? We're rich. We are the richest sailors between Gold Rock City and the Emerald Archipelago at this point in time. Not being frugal anymore, but we will have our last bottle of rice beer. Pop that up here instead of launching it overboard because it's a bit too dark for that. And we're going to grab our big boy bottle and fill it up with wine. I could probably get away with saving this wine now and just selling it. What do we think, folks? Nah. I've been thinking about, I can maybe sell one crate barrel. I've been thinking about drinking this wine for a long time now. And I'm not going to refuse myself that pleasure. Right, okie dokie. So I guess we're just sailing through the night. I do wish it was daytime, just so I could see if I could see Albacore. Because I'm still very tempted to go to Alchemist Island. The intelligent part of me says go to Alchemist Island. For the income. But my heart is telling me to go straight to Gold Rock. Because we're just so close. Need to pull that sail right in, I think, for close hauling at this rate. Yeah. How pretty does she look at night with her little navigation lights? Gorgeous. I think with the sandbuck, I'm going to see if I can put a hook on the outside of the bulwarks or gunnels. And that way when I go into this view, you'll be able to see. And it means any other sailor that happens to be around will know what they're looking at. I am tempted just to turn us a bit more straight towards Gold Rock. I'll do it a wee bit, right? Just a wee bit, not by much, just maybe by that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Alright folks, well I'm making the executive decision now to make a quick edit, and I'll be back with you when we've got some more vision and we can see if we can start spotting some islands and doing some pilotage. So I'll see you shortly folks. Alright folks, we have woken up. Gold Rock is starting to take that real gold rock shape. I still can't see Albacore. Oh wait, I can see something just there. I think I've lost it, but I definitely saw something. Unfortunately, because I've lost it, I'm not going to be able to get a reading on it unless I can find it again, but I definitely saw something there. And it looked to me like it was east of south. So we know we're past Albacore. I think we can get a pretty decent reading of Gold Rock. I'll just point us towards the gap a bit, head up the front. So the most southern point of the southern island, or the smaller island, is waiting for this, is just a smidge below west. So that'll be here I'm looking at. That'll be west. So just a smidge below. I'm going to get rid of this so it doesn't confuse me. And then we want the most northern point of the northern island. Waiting for the swell to go down. Is west-northwest. Exactly. So from here, we're probably looking at about here. So with a bit of pilotage, that would place us here, and that would make sense if we thought Albacore Town was just east of south. So we are very, very, very close folks. We're so close it's time to start thinking about our thumbnail. I know I said I don't like doing this whilst I'm recording, but It's an exciting moment. Do another one. There we go. I've turned off the sound it makes, at the very least. And maybe if I drink some wine, I can go for a very short nap and end up right next to Gold Rock. There we go, we've had 5. Oh, and we're close hauling pretty bad. We're about to actually go dead in the water. Have some swift dried bun slices, or just the one is all we needed. And now we patiently wait for our energy to drop just a wee touch. Not by much, just a wee toty bit. She does keep turning northward a bit. So I'm going to just... I don't want to mess around with the jibs again, so I'm going to just bring the gaff down a wee touch. Ico Local Gameplay, who I shouted out in the last video, when they went to the shipyard for their dhow, they actually picked the, I can't remember the length, but it was the thinner jib. So I guess it's hard to explain because that keeps coming in the way. Basically, the line of the jib comes down the middle here, so it's a lot shorter in terms of length. And I think that was the better thing to do. So certainly check out Ico Loco, because I find that there's a real struggle balancing the larger gaff with both the jibs. It's something I've been thinking about ever since I went through the shipyard episode, but I haven't said it out loud. No, because that would curse the boat. But we've almost completed our maiden voyage, and at this rate, I know Rhino said it was best to go to Alchemist Island, and my brain says that that's the best thing to do, but I just want to get home. My heart is speaking more loudly than my brain at this point in time. So Rhino, thank you as always for your stellar advice. But I'm taking a emotion over logic. I know that doesn't always work out well, but it's what we're going for. Right, I'm going to take a tiny little danger nap, and hopefully not crash into Gold Rock. See you shortly. Alright folks, so a few things. We got a full nap out of that. We have blown slightly northward, but also it's almost like the game's done this on purpose. Right as we're getting so close to being home, there is a storm. Hopefully the storm doesn't come our way, but also it looks like we're getting to the point where we might actually have to tack a couple of times before we make it to Gold Rock. In actual fact, I'm just going to turn us at an extreme angle and pick up a bit of speed, because I think I'm just going to make that tack now. I'll make a slight tack down in this direction for a wee bit, so that when I tack back up, it's just straight in this little gap here. But you can actually make out the bollards that signify the sandbanks, so we are affy close. I could chance a very close haul, but I'd rather not go dead in the water. Right, she did turn herself. I did bring the gaff up just a wee touch. Right, let's give this tack a go. We've got a bit of speed here, just a tiny wee bit, but surely enough for a tack. I might almost mess that up by turning the helm back round to the centre too early. We're very close hauled, but I think we're moving. Where's the chip log? I've got it in my inventory. Well, we're certainly not flying, folks. But that's pretty much what you can expect when you're close hauling with reduced sails. So I'll take that. We're hungry, but I can... Oh, I'm worried that we're turning back into the wind there. Making a turn for my hands and knees here. I dropped a bun slice. I think I might have dropped through the deck there. I'm not sure, but it's okay. We've got plenty. And I can afford to just eat as much of these as I want now. So we're essentially tidying up this pile with our mouth. And our stomach too, of course. Is that the masts of the... Oh, it sounds like we have gone dead in the water. Or we were very close to it there. So there is too much wind hitting the mainsail. Let's get both jibs out. It will turn us in the other direction, but that's better than turning into the direction of the wind. And I really shouldn't have touched that wine, that barrel of wine, because it would be pretty stupid to drink wine at this point. But at least we've got some wine for the future. We are now sober, Shipwreck Sean. We're not touching alcohol. Speaking of, let's get rid of this empty bottle here. Oh. Don't want two men overboards. Right, and I think we can tack back now. And try and get a nice angle of approach for Gold Rock. Turning so that we avoid the sandbank. And yeah, when I'm making YouTube chapters, this from this point on will very much be Gold Rock City approach, which I wasn't totally sure we were going to get in this episode. We'll actually go south of this sandbank. I thought at the very least I'll get us to Sightland. Sorry for the silence there. It sounded like someone was trying to get into my flat for a second. The world is against me getting to Gold Rock. It's actually nice to be back here. It's been so long. It's just naturally turning northwards because of the jibs, but that's fine. At this stage, I don't care what side I go around the sandbank, as long as I get there. Is there anything we need to prepare? I don't think so. Nah, I think we're pretty good. Good percentage of the lanterns. I've only actually used one of the candles. I think there's maybe like 12 or 16 you get in a crate, but then once you finish the crate you get less than that. But this would be a nice cute little crate to keep for the future. Over the tide of Gold Rock there. We're just going to say it's a feature now. We've obviously got some good speed because that was just a very slight turn and she turned pretty quickly. Right, more thumbnails. This could be one. I'm so excited I couldn't even find the print screen button. Yeah, that's nice. I think that's in the maybe pile though. But yeah, geez. I'm now nervous about docking, but that's a very good thing to be nervous about, especially after an ocean voyage. Oh no, we have to dock. Oh yes, we have to dock. Because we are the best sailors ever to sail. Maybe that's a stretch. It is still going to be a tough little close haul round this bend, but I'm happy to do a tiny wee close haul. Maybe hold that helm there. We're past that sandbank, but we've just got this one to worry about now. There she is, folks. There's that sandbuck. It feels like ages ago since I made the pole, but she will be ours very soon. Right, just making us, I know this is a bit of a dangerous turn into the wind. Hopefully we don't hit that little sandbank under the water. We're still keeping speed. This is not a game where you get a kedging anchor, so we only really, oh, I think, yeah, I think we hit it. Yep, we're very much still hitting it here. In the water. Push, 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 push. There we go. That's how the professionals do it. Oh, I've still got the helm completely to port there. Right, now I'm going to bring in one of the jibs. I really don't care in what direction I hit port here. In fact, I should probably dock a bit further down so there's space for the sandbuck, but I'll deal with all that kind of thing off camera, because it'd be good to bring the sandbuck round closer to the trader. We're still going really quickly, so I think we can get away with dropping all sails and we should just drift in now. I'd prefer to be coming in this way, but as I say, it doesn't really matter. That's a print screen moment. Probably making a bit too risky there since I still have to dock. Still moving forward though. I will begin our turn to port. That was maybe a bit too extreme. Just keep going. Our bowsprit's high enough not to hit the dock. Right, now we can make a little port turn. Straighten up again, get a bit closer. Sorry for the silence again, folks. And then full port turn. It does look like we have stopped with the wind, but that's okay because I think... Oh, land. Right, folks. I have saved the last drop of limoncello for this. Ah, lovely. Look at that, folks. We have made it. Hold on a second and I'll find out how long it took us. I think it was day 70 we left. Alright, mate. It's been a while. Alright, dude. But I will pull in our spring lines first of all, or our stern and bow line. I'm now just noticing the sound of the wind chimes. I've actually forgotten about those for quite a while. But yeah, okay, right, so let's get everything off. I'll get everything off, folks, and I'll be back with you. Alright, folks, so this is our cargo. We've got 6 lots of eel, 3 lots of green tobacco, our mail to Gold Rock, 2 lots of tea, and our 1 full barrel of wine. So I guess it's worth checking our reputation at LAAAAND. Will it affect the Emerald Archipelago reputation, since that's where the mission came from? I'm not sure. But 5294 or 8568. Let's see. It did both. Nice, that's cool. I didn't know that. So delivering between archipelagos affects your reputation for both, which is very nifty. Now, we need to work out what's worth selling. So we'll do eel first. Let's see if I can find where the hell eel is. Eel. So the profit is about the same no matter where we go. The worst one's actually Oasis, and Gold Rock is our best for now. So we're just going to sell all our eel here. We're getting that back in Emerald Dragons, which might be a mistake. Can I change that to Alank Lions? Yes. Yes, I think that's maybe smart. I'm not sure. But that's what we're doing. And what else do we have? Tea. 2 lots of tea to sell. Green tobacco. Yep, so we're not going to get the best profit here, but we're just going to get rid of those now. And then we had a wine. Where's wine? Is that page 1? Salmon, lamb, tea, tuna, wine. So 1 load of that. And I don't actually think that's left us with enough coin. How have we managed that? Right, okay, let's see. Let's go to the currency exchange. I think we need 75 gold, of which we have 20 of. Ah, okay, we've still got loads of Emerald Dragons, that's why. Right, so let's convert Emerald Dragons into gold. We can do 30 at a time, or 10,000's worth at a time. So we'll do that. So we've got 65, so now we just need to get 10 gold's worth out of Alank Lions, of which we've got plenty for. So we now have enough gold to purchase the sandbuck, and plenty of Alank Lions to play with as well. Bonnie, you have been absolutely wonderful to us. You've taught us how to sail semi-efficiently. You've taken us to Oasis and back in our first voyage where we couldn't see land for a wee bit. And you've taken us across an archipelago and back, exploring the Emerald Archipelago for the first time in my Sailwind career. And also, you've survived about 24 episodes of my first ever Let's Play, really my first ever proper experience with YouTube. So we thank you ever so kindly, Bonnie. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything and everyone in between, that is the end of Drunken Sailor, an Ocean Voyage, or episode 24 of my Let's Play. I will see you very, very soon for when we pick up this lovely vessel over here, the Sandbuck. She's dark, but she's big. I could just hit buy now, but no. We'll do that in the next episode. So yes, folks, I have been Shipwreck Sean. Thank you for joining me, and see you next time. Cheerio.